What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are back with some more of our NBA plays. Today we're going to be talking about our player props as well as the games. Have a pretty large slate. Got quite a bit to talk about. There's going to be some games that I'm just going to be fading today, as well as some games that I'm going to be heavily targeting. So we'll talk about those games here in just a minute. Before we do anything, we do have to pick our winner from yesterday's video to win a free month of VIP. I do this in every single video. If today's video gets 250 likes, I will select a random comment to win a free month of our VIP. So make sure you guys drop a like, leave a comment on the video. You do have to be a subscriber to win. So if you guys are not subscribed, if you would be so kind to hit that subscribe button, I would be super thankful. But anyways, let's pick our winner from yesterday. Winner is going to be for Fugitive K2, who said, let's get it. Well, send me a message on Discord, Fugitive. I'll get you added for that free month of VIP. Appreciate the love and support from every single one of you guys. And let's go ahead and talk about how my plays went yesterday, because yesterday was a losing day for me overall. So I got the month of February so far. We started the month off with a nice little profitable day. Second day, Monday, yesterday, we lost $33.50. I know it doesn't seem like a very bad loss, but it's still a loss. And let's talk about the bad beat, because the bad beat was the Pelicans. So these are the only two money lines I placed. There was a 4-game slate yesterday. Didn't like it much. Once Harden got ruled out, I took Sixers money line, and it ended up cashing me out. So I won most of my money back, but I put $250 on the Pelicans at plus 200 odds. Let me show you guys this slip, because this one hurt. This one hurt because I was, quick disclaimer. So if you've been in the South as of lately, you know it's been like 20 degrees. My pipes in my house have survived I have leave the water cracked when it gets that cold, all the stuff you're supposed to do, have them insulated, things like that. For some reason, there's a piece of PVC that was kind of exposed a little bit that I didn't know of, and that thing busted completely. And it happened when it was like 40 degrees out yesterday. So I don't know if it must have, either the water was frozen and it had already busted and it just hadn't sprayed yet, and the water melted and it just started spraying, but I don't know, man. So your boy was busy yesterday. The only happiness I had as I'm trying to fix this water pipe is the Pelicans were winning. At one point in this game, the Pelicans are beating the Hornets by 22 points. A 22-point lead, plus 210, 250 to win $775. I was like, this is going to be a nice win for the Discord. And I was happy. I'm sitting there fixing the pipe. I'm happy as can be. And then I checked the score, and they're up by 6. And I was like, oh, shoot. The Pelicans are throwing their lead. And then that was at the end of the third. And then I check in the fourth quarter, they're down by 7 with like 2 minutes left, and they ended up losing the game. So the Pelicans lost me there. That could have been a really, really nice day. Unfortunately, they sold me. The Sixers almost broke us even. We lost $33, which is less than a tenth of, or right at a tenth of a unit for me. So not a horrible day. Player props didn't do great either. Had a prize pick slip we hit, but we missed two free picks again. Parlay play has had my tail lately. I'm struggling with them, but we're going to break that slump. We're going to have a good day today. I'm feeling it. We got a nice NBA slate, and we got some games that can definitely we can definitely find some value on. So if you guys do want to join our Discord, link to the Discord is down in the description. If you want to get every single play that I post, you guys have seen the bet tracker. I track every single bet that I personally play and post. And so far, since the beginning of December, since I created this spreadsheet, or not created, since I've been using this spreadsheet, because I did not create this myself. Shout out to Dan once again for helping me out. But anyways, $13,864 is our profit since the beginning of December with just our money line plays, and they have all been posted and tracked in this bet sheet. So if you want to get all these plays, $10 a week or $25 a month, click the WAP link in the description, and we'd love to have you guys a part of the community. You can get 20% off with code NBA. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into these games for today. The first game on the slate, we actually have a decent matchup here. So it's the Jazz versus the Pacers. Now, the Pacers are on a back-to-back. They played against the Rockets yesterday, and they actually almost beat Houston. So they came very close to beating the Rockets. They're playing against the Jazz. They're minus 150 favorites at home. 3.5 spread, 236.5 total. Public betting, around a 50-50 split if you averaged out the spread and the money line on this. So the money's not like strongly on one side or the other. Looking at these two teams, the Jazz they've won one of the last like 12 games. So not much going on this Jazz team. They're missing a lot of players, a lot of injuries they're dealing with. So the Jazz can't be trusted fully. They just got beat by 7 versus the Raptors, and that was in Toronto. So they kept it close against a pretty decent team. They are missing Keontae George today. Harkless is out. Niang is out again, and Nurkic is out again for rest. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this changes. since he is out for rest and they haven't played in 2 days. So maybe Nurkic plays. As of right now, it says Nurkic is out for Tuesday's game against the Pacers for rest purposes. So this could end up changing. We know how these injury news can be. Nurkic could very well get ruled in. Who knows? But regardless, we will be keeping an eye on this. If Nurkic plays, obviously that's better for the Jazz. Either way, I do think the Jazz keep it competitive against the Pacers on the back-to-back because the Pacers played a hard-fought game last night. So I think it stays competitive. Obviously, Pacers have pretty much a fully healthy team, missing Halliburton, missing Obi Toppin. So I'm looking at the Pacers team. Siakam covered easy yesterday. Nembhard sold me big time. Nembhard had like 7 field goal attempts. Didn't do barely anything. So Nembhard hurt me yesterday. He sold one of our slips. And then if you're looking at the Jazz side of things, I really like Marketing. Marketing is kind of who I'm leaning towards on this Jazz side, especially without Keontae George. Marketing's usage should be very, very high anyways. Points is looking really, really good for him. PRA is looking okay. So I'm looking at Marketing. If I'm taking anybody from the Jazz, anybody from the Pacers, it's probably going to be our man Pascal. So in terms of money lines for this game, I think the Jazz can win. Do I think they win? The Pacers have been playing very good lately. So it's hard for me to want to put money on the Jazz here. I'm going to wait until closer to game time and see if any injury news changes in this game before making a bet on this game. I do think the Pacers are the better team, but I do think the Jazz are live dogs, especially with the Pacers on a back-to-back. Because this Pacers team is not some powerhouse team by any means. They've struggled this season. They're looking better right now, like I said. So I really like. I feel like the Pacers are the better team, especially with all these injuries. You can see how they've been playing. They played against some decent teams. They beat OKC in OKC. So they've been playing pretty dang good lately, whereas the Jazz have not. So, I mean, give me probably the Pacers if I had to pick the better team. But being on a back-to-back, I do think for plus 150, the Jazz is not honestly that bad of a bet. So we'll see where I go. I'm not sure where I'm leaning on this game in terms of where I'm going to put my money just yet. But I do think it is fairly competitive with a 236.5 total. It should be pretty good for props. Next game on the slate, I'm fading. It's the Knicks versus the Wizards. It's going to be in Washington. The Knicks have looked like a powerhouse. Wizards missing quite a few players. You can come over here and look at their injury news. Trey Johnson, Vukcevic, Trey Young. Anthony Gill is questionable. They do have Sarr. Knicks are only missing McBride, McCullough, and Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson being a pretty big one, to be honest with you. He's been playing pretty decent, but the Knicks have looked like a powerhouse. Wizards have looked better. Am I going to say the Wizards can't win for plus 530 at home? They definitely can. If you have any bone in your body that thinks the Wizards win, at plus 530, 554 if you played on Novig, maybe it's a good play to take. But I'm fading this game. I think it could get ugly. I think the Knicks win. That's my personal opinion, but give me the Knicks here. I'm not going to be playing anything on that game, I don't think. Next game, Nuggets versus Pistons. So, in terms of if I was going to pick a game to watch tonight and like just chill out on the couch and watch the game, a competitive game, this is the best game on the slate. Should be very competitive, playoff-style game, in my personal opinion. So you got the Pistons versus the Nuggets in Detroit. Detroit minus 163 favorites, 3.5 spread, 227.5 total. Money split down the middle on money line, 85% of the money on Denver plus 3.5. So let's talk about it. This game is tough to call. The Nuggets have Jokic back. They are missing Tamar Bates. Brown is questionable. Aaron Gordon's still out and Cam Johnson's still out. So they're missing some players. This could end up changing. Who knows? Detroit missing LeVert and Tolu Smith, potentially. Both of these guys are questionable. They've been sitting. Maybe they play today. I don't know. So we're looking at some things. Nothing major. If I was going to be able to look at, like major injuries or anything like that, nothing that I would be super concerned on that's incredibly game-changing. Obviously, Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown for the Nuggets is pretty big loss for that team overall. But they've been playing out without him all season. They've been playing good. They've been winning. They got Jokic back. That's the biggest piece of this puzzle that is back. Whereas Detroit does have a pretty much fully healthy starting five. They're a pretty good team, man. You look at Detroit, dude, they've won majority of games playing at home, 79% win rate at home. But if you look at the Nuggets, 73% win rate on the road. The Nuggets team on the road have been a powerhouse. They've won 6 games in a row. Now, have they beat good teams? The Bucks without Giannis, or I don't know if Giannis played that game or not. I'm not going to say without Giannis. I'm not sure about that. But they beat the Bucks. They beat the Wizards. They beat Dallas. They beat the Pelicans. They beat the Celtics. The Celtics is a good team. They beat the Sixers, which is a good team. So they have a couple strong wins in there, a couple not so strong wins. Nuggets, one of the better teams in the league, in my opinion. I like the Nuggets. I like this team. This game, I'm honestly looking at the Pistons just because they're at home. But this game can go either way, so I'm not sure. This is going to be one of those games where I'm going to pick the brain of my dad. I'm going to pick the brain of some other guys I know and see where they're leaning, just to see if maybe they sway me in one direction. I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to where this money goes throughout the day. If 85% of the money is on Denver spread at plus 106, then I'll probably start leaning towards Detroit money line, to be honest with you, because of all that money. And I'm on Detroit slightly anyway, so that's kind of where I'm leaning. It's just a 163 I don't like. Plus 160 for Denver. Plus 160 for Denver with Jokic playing is just hard to fade. But this game could go either way. Like I said, I'm going to be watching where the money goes. I'm going to be watching things like that, pick some brains of some others. As of right now, I am leaning the Pistons, though, if I had to pick a team. So you guys can do what you want with that information. I will be waiting till closer to game time before I place any bets for this game, because it could be going anyway. Next game on the slate is the Hawks versus the Heat. Miami, minus 156 favorites, 3.5-point spread. And if you guys are looking at these odds, these are the best odds you can get across all the sports books. So Kalshi is going to be the best on the Atlanta side. Profit X is going to be the best if you're taking it on the Miami side. I'm going to show you guys something you can do here in just a second. So plus 240.5 total. Very fast-paced game. Money pretty much split down the middle. So if you're looking at these and you're wanting to find the best odds, you can click the team that you're looking for, first of all. You can click this little button on Outlier, and you guys can try Outlier for free with the link down in the description. But you can select every single book. So all these books the Outlier uses, Pinnacle is one of the stronger ones, and you can just put your mouse right here, and you can literally see where every single book has this line. And I wish it would quit changing on me, but you can see where every book has this line right here, and you can see where the best value is going to be. So you can see, I think it's split down the middle through like actual books and then poly market thing kind of style. I'm not real sure why that line is in the middle, but regardless, Novig and what is that? Pinnacle? What is? I'm not sure which one. It's not Pinnacle. Whichever one that blue one is at the top right there. Polymarket, is that what that is? Let's take Polymarket off, see if it disappears. So yeah, it is Polymarket. So Polymarket and Novig have the best odds right now. So you could do that. You could find the best value very easily with Novig if you want to try it that way. But anyways, this game, fastest paced game on the slate. You're looking at Atlanta. Atlanta has Porzingis potentially coming back tonight. They're missing Okongwu still, and then the two players that are out for the rest of the season. Miami missing Tyler Hero. Jovic is questionable, and then if you look at Norman Powell, he is questionable as well. Obviously, no more Rozier. Looking at these two players, or these two games, Porzingis and Norman Powell are both pretty big pieces. Norman Powell is a bigger piece to the Miami team than Porzingis is to Atlanta, in my personal opinion. This game could go either way. Now, Miami, strong team at home, 64% win rate at home. The Hawks, 54% win rate on the road. So they actually have a higher win rate on the road than they do on at home. So they've been playing decent. They've lost 2 games in a row. The 4 game before that, they actually won. So they got beat pretty bad by Houston. Got beat by the Pacers in a close game. This one was in Indiana. When you look at the Heat, they just blew out the Bulls. Blowout win. Lost to Chicago the game before that, beat Chicago the game before that. So they've had 3 back-to-back games versus Chicago. This game is tough to call, I will say. If Norman Powell sits, I'm leaning towards Atlanta. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Atlanta can come on the road and beat Miami. Now, if Norman Powell plays Miami at home, I'm probably going to lean Miami. So the big piece right here is for Norman Powell for me. Bam's going to have a good game in my opinion. Not Dyson Daniels, but Jalen Johnson I think has a good game. Jalen Johnson with Porzingis, he hasn't, I don't know what it is. If you click Jalen Johnson, and I'm just going to do games with Porzingis on the season, like we're going to look at it, say his PRA, for example. His PRA is 42.5. He's cashed 43%. There's a boost for 39.5. So I'm just going to click this. So he has a 61% hit rate. You add Porzingis in here, and his hit rate goes down to 35%. So, not saying Porzingis is a key piece that makes Jalen Johnson miss or anything, but I was looking at Jalen Johnson until I saw questionable Porzingis and started actually looking at the stats, and I was like, he hasn't had as many big games with Porzingis playing, so I'm kind of not sure how I feel about Jalen Johnson in this match right here, or in this setup right now. But regardless, I'm gonna be paying attention to Norman Powell, pay attention to Porzingis, see what happens there. Obviously, if Porzingis plays, probably not getting very many minutes. Norman Powell, yeah, like I said, I'll be watching him mainly for this game. But as of right now, if Norman Powell sits, I'm probably looking at the Hawks for plus 156. Public betting, like we've already seen, is pretty much a 50-50 split. More money on Atlanta, plus 3.5. So we'll see. A lot of these, like, I have made the mistake by trying to lock in slips early or money lines early, and then players get ruled out. And it's worked in my favor. You guys saw the bet tracker for last month. Had a great month. But there's been some days where it could have been very, very bad, if I didn't get lucky on some of these plays. And I'm going to give you an example. Let's say, for example, I played the Hawks today because Norman Powell was ruled out. Well, at 5 p.m., Norman Powell gets ruled in, but also Jalen Johnson gets ruled out for the Hawks. So the value goes way up in favor of the Hawks. If you would have played the Hawks then, it would have been better value, and they still win somehow. And I just get lucky. But anyways, that's happening for sure. I'm going to be more aware of the time that I lock in these slips, pay a little bit more attention to these injury news, because lately, and just the last couple of weeks lately, it has been like things have completely done a 180 throughout the afternoon. So definitely keep an eye out on that, especially going towards All-Star break. Next game on the slate is going to be the Lakers versus the Nets. Brooklyn's plus 300 at home. 8.5 spread, 222.5 total. Most of the money, obviously, is going to be on the Lakers. This Brooklyn team just got absolutely pummeled by Detroit. They got beat by 53 points. They've had a couple games lately where they've got beat by 50 plus. So it's hard for you to want to trust this Brooklyn team. They were missing Michael Porter Jr. in that game as well. When you look at the Lakers, they just got beat by the Knicks. I had Knicks money line here. They cashed me out. They did blow out the Wizards the game before that. Looking at this Lakers team, Bronny James is out once again. Austin Reeves out once, or I don't know why I see their name and I just assume out. It's questionable. They're questionable. They might play. So Reeves might play tonight. I'm not sure. Clowney, probable. Highsmith is out. Zaire Williams, probable. So they're most likely going to play. This team does have Porter Jr. back. So you guys know I will be playing some type of Michael Porter Jr. prop on this game. I do think Brooklyn can keep this game close at home. Brooklyn at home, 26% win rate. They haven't looked great. I think they can keep it close. So Lakers, a good team. They have a lot of potential, but they just haven't been playing to the caliber that they can. And they just, they've looked okay lately, but they still just not. They've won 60% of their games on the season, so you can't say they're a bad team by any means, but they've lost some games that they should have won. I don't know why I'm scrolling up and down so fast. Sorry if that bugs you. But anyways, I think Brooklyn keeps it close. I'm not going to be running the Nets money line or anything like that. I think that plus 300 is decent value there. But give me Porter Jr. here. In terms of betting on this game, that's probably the only prop that I'm really looking at. So this game is probably a fade for money line for me. Next game is going to be OKC versus Orlando. OKC minus 233, Orlando plus 233. This is a game you can't make a bet on until you look at the injury news. Look at OKC. Caruso doubtful, SGA questionable, Hartenstein questionable, Holmgren questionable, AJ Mitchell out, Topic out, Jalen Williams questionable, Jalen Williams number 2 out. So if these players sit, Magic money line all day plus 235. If they play, OKC probably wins. The Magic have not looked that good lately. You cannot make a decision until you watch the injury news on that. If you think Shea sits, go ahead and lock in the Magic money line if you plan on playing them, because once these players get ruled out, you will not get plus 233 for the Magic. You're probably going to get the Magic minus 110 or something. It's probably going to get very, very close to even odds. If more than Shea sits, Shea, Hartenstein, and Holmgren or something sit, then you're probably going to end up with a Magic minus 150 or something. So pay attention to the injury news on this. If you think the Magic win anyway, if you think these players sit, I recommend locking the Magic in early. If you have no clue like me and you have no idea who's going to sit and who's not, then maybe you should just wait for the injury news, which is what I'm personally going to be doing. Next game, Celtics versus Mavericks. This game is a game that could stay competitive. Dallas is plus 227 at home, 6.5 spread, 225 total, 222.5 total. 80% of the money on the Celtics. Now, the Celtics are the better team. They're not missing anybody other than Tatum. Dallas missing a lot of players. AD is still out. Kyrie still out. PJ Washington out. Brandon Williams questionable. Missing a lot of players. They've lost 4 games in a row, whereas the Celtics have won 5 of their last 7 games. So they've looked very strong lately. Celtics have won 60% of the games on the road. The Mavericks have a 50% win rate or at home. 50% on the season overall as well, and that's the last 10. My bad. So it's 39% versus 50%. So obviously the Mavericks at home have been a stronger team at home, but they have lost 3 games in a row. Got beat by Lakers, Minnesota, and Charlotte. Now, can they beat the Celtics? They for sure can. Are the Celtics the better team? Absolutely. With all these players missing, I do think the Celtics win this game. If you think Dallas is a good play, then 2 plus 223, you're getting decent odds there. The way the NBA has been, and I said this in yesterday's video, if you think a player wins or a team wins because they're an underdog and you're getting plus 200 value, you might as well sprinkle some on it because anything can happen right now. And Dallas is a decent home team. They can definitely beat the Celtics. Am I going to be playing Dallas today? Probably not. I'm probably not touching this game money line wise. I don't trust the Celtics for minus 230. Minus 230 is just a juice line for a team that can be beat. Dallas plus 227. That's only potential that I see here. I wouldn't run the spread at plus 6.5 personally. That's just not. I don't like that number for this game. I'd rather play one of the money. If I was going to play Dallas 6.5, I'd rather just play them for plus 227 personally and take the win. But you know how it goes. They could lose by 5 and you could cover the spread. So, anyways, this game. Not something I'm really looking at in depth right now. A lot of money is on the Celtics money line, which obviously looks good for Dallas. But regardless, do what you want with that one. This is not a game that I'm going to be betting on most likely. Same thing for this next game. You got the Bucks without Giannis. Milwaukee plus 134 at home, a 3.5 spread, a 223.5 total. Most of the money is going to be on Chicago money line, as well as a 50-50 split on the spread on this game. 2025 season so far. The Bucks have won 38%. The Bulls have won 48%. The Bulls have won one of their last 5 games. The Bulls are a streaky team. We have talked about this Bulls streak. They have all season. They'll win 4 or 5 in a row, lose 4 or 5 in a row, win a few in a row, lose a few in a row. They won 4 here, lost 3, then they won, lost. So is this the start of a win streak? Potentially. This Bucks team does not have Giannis pretty much. Giannis is waiting to be traded. He's dealing with potential injuries. Like Giannis is most likely not going to be playing and is going to be going to a different team. Gary Harris is out. Kevin Porter's out. Taurean Prince is out. Chicago, Zach Collins is out. Josh Giddey is out. Kevin Huerter is questionable. Trey Jones out. Julian Phillips is questionable. Sark is out. Jalen Smith is questionable. They're missing so many players as well on the Chicago side of things that it's hard for me to want to play on either of these teams. If I was making a bet here, honestly, I think the Bucks are due for a win. And the Bucks at home, I think they could beat the Bulls. So, plus 133, I don't love the odds here. I'd like to get them at like plus 150, plus 160. That'd be a nice line. If you're playing them on most books, you're probably getting close to even odds here, and we can check. So, most books have it like plus 120. So, yeah, let's see. Let's do Fliff, for example, because Fliff is one of those books that doesn't give you the best odds. Plus 120. So, yeah, that's probably what you're looking at here. Not horrible value in terms of if you're putting a full unit on it, but in terms of risk versus reward, look at this team. This team hasn't been that great. So seeing them at plus 130 isn't something that I love. Wait for some injury news here if you want. If Huerter sits, obviously it's better for Milwaukee. They do have Kobe White and Vucevic, and Buzelis has been popping off a little bit lately. So I don't think that this Chicago team just gets destroyed or anything by any means. Head-to-head, Milwaukee has won 2 of the last 3 games they played. They played twice this season. Milwaukee has beat them both games this season. So I don't know if Giannis was in either of those games. I can do this. Games without Giannis, and yeah, Giannis played both games. So neither of those games was Giannis out, which is obviously going to be a completely different game now when Giannis is out. So that game, I'm not sure what I want to do just yet. I'm maybe leaning Bucks for plus money if I had to pick one. I'm not telling you to bet on the Bucks because it's risky for sure. And the Bulls have had some streaks in this season where they've looked really, really good. But they are missing a lot of players. Giddey is a huge piece of this Bulls puzzle, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did lose on the road in Milwaukee. Next game on the slate is going to be the Sixers versus the Warriors. We only have 2 more games. Sixers are on a back-to-back. I played them last night. They won. They're on the road in Golden State. Golden State minus 138 favorites. Now, you can see 92% of the money's on the Sixers. This does not make me want to play the Sixers at all. Way too much money on the Sixers. Sixers have won 4 straight, beating the Pelicans, the Kings, the Bucks, and the Clippers. They are missing Paul George, who is suspended. You don't see a starting Embiid right here. So, I mean, this probably isn't updated. I'm not sure if Embiid is going to come off the bench where it's a back-to-back or not. Embiid sometimes doesn't play that back-to-backs. He's had some games this season where he has. So, we'll see what happens here for that. Golden State's missing Butler, Cryer, Steph Curry, Seth Curry, Kuminga, and Moody. So, this is why there's so much money on the Sixers tonight. I would wait around a little bit, kind of see maybe what's going on. I don't know, man. Getting the Sixers, I can see why there's so much money on them. I like the Sixers here, too. Just that much money on the Sixers scares me. 92%. I don't love that line when the Sixers are going to be traveling again. But anyways, they played versus the Clippers in L.A., so it's not like it's some massive travel or anything like that. So it's I guess give me the Sixers here with all these players out. I think the Sixers are a better team for sure, especially with no Curry or Butler. The Sixers definitely have the better lineup. I guess for plus money, it's hard not to take the Sixers here. I see this. Oh, that number just kills me, man. I can't. It makes me not want to put my money on them. If the Sixers win and cover this spread, Vegas is losing quite a bit of money. So, anyways, that's what worries me. But I do like the Sixers here. If I had to pick a team, I'd pick the Sixers. Last game is Trailblazers versus Suns. Portland plus 144, 3.5 spread, 217.5 total. Looking at Portland, Portland has lost, 5 games in a row here, getting beat by Washington as well. Looking at the Suns, they've lost, one game out of their last 4. They won 3 straight versus Brooklyn, Detroit, and they beat Cleveland. They got beat by 24 versus the Clippers. They got kind of killed by the Clippers the last game. Booker is missing still. Jalen Green questionable. Portland has a doubtful Avdija. Scoot Henderson is doubtful, and then Drew Holiday is also questionable. So they're missing a lot of players as well over here on this Portland side of things. Thibault still being out. So Avdija is the big one here. If Avdija sits, which he most likely is, give me Phoenix. Phoenix has looked good even without Devin Booker. So I don't think Phoenix is just gonna get beat badly right now by the Blazers. Now the Blazers are plus money. If Avdija was playing, I'd probably be leaning the Blazers. And the Blazers are due for a win. Trailblazers have lost 5 in a row. Before that, they won 4 in a row. And they're kind of streaky as well. They've been decent. Lately before this little loss streak. So Avdija sitting's huge for them. If he sits, like I said, he is doubtful. I'm going to pay attention to this. Maybe he gets moved up to questionable or something. If he sits, then give me Phoenix. If he plays, then I'd probably end up taking Portland. But we'll see, man. I've been against Phoenix a lot of games, and they've bit me. So I'm definitely leaning Phoenix here as of right now. So give me Phoenix money line if I had to pick right now with 26% of the money on Phoenix, which looks even better in my opinion. 50-50 split on the spread. So give me the Suns. Give me the Suns. So that's what I got for today. I know there's been a lot of kind of coin flip games. I can't give you a lot of answers on some of these games because of the injury news. You just have to wait for it. You can't lock in too early on this or it will kill you. So remember, it won't literally kill you before YouTube flags me. It won't kill you, but it will hurt you in terms of you are making a decision too early. I have to specify that so I don't get flagged. Anyways, that being said, let's jump into some player props. I do want to say, if you guys want a free month of VIP, you can sign up with any of our partnered apps down in the description. There's 7 apps. Each app gives you 1 free month of VIP. You can get up to 7 full months for free. Chalkboard, Sleeper, Parlay Play, Underdog, Better, Novig, Dabble. Any of those apps get you a free month of VIP. Just let me know if you sign up for any of them. One that I recommend right now is Parlay Play. Parlay Play will give you a $5 free bet if you sign up. They will give you a deposit match up to $100, and you get free VIP. So they do have a lot of promos right now. Have some good ones. Jalen Johnson's the one I was looking at earlier, 39.5 points, rebounds, and assists. With Porzingis, his hit rate is not very high. It's still a good payout. He probably turns up versus Miami. It's going to be a very fast-paced game, so I don't dislike this line. Jaylen Brown, I don't dislike this line at all. Some of the other ones I don't like. I didn't even see Dylan Brooks. This one's new, so I haven't looked at Dylan Brooks. It's a 1.95x for a reason, which means his regular line is boosted. Honestly, that's probably not a bad line. We'll take a look at it if we want. But anyways, lots of promos. If you want to try them out, just let me know if you sign up, and I'll get you added for that free VIP. Let's go ahead and jump into our first pick of the day. The first pick is going to be for Michael Porter Jr. I'm playing him for 30 PRA. Not much needs to be said about this play. He has been the biggest wagon of the season over any player by far. Hasn't even been close this season. He's cashed this line 74% of the games on the season, and we probably played him 25 games this season. So 25 of the 28 cashes, we probably had him. Let's be honest. It's legitimately true. We've probably played him every single game. And he has just continued to be a wagon. Playing against the Lakers, it's going to be a good matchup. He has no head-to-head or no history versus the Lakers since he's been playing for the Nets. And obviously, his usage for the Nets is incredible. The dude is getting pretty much every single shot he wants. They're missing Highsmith is pretty much the only one that's out. It doesn't matter to me if the rest of the team's playing or not. Porter has his chances. He had 51 PRA his last game, and that was versus the Nuggets. So give me Porter Jr. for 30 PRA. It's a decent payout. It's not some massive payout. It's like a 1.28x or something. 1.25 has come down slightly since I locked it in. I've already locked in this pick, so I'm going to show you. I locked in Michael Porter Jr. with Jalen Duren. Now, Jalen Duren is a boosted line on parlay play that I already locked in. And I locked it in because the line was close to a 1.75x, and I knew if I didn't go ahead and lock it, then it was going to end up being the payout was going to end up changing. So I ended up posting it. I locked it in immediately, posted it on Parlay Play or in our Discord. So you can see it's in the Discord posted already. I said, let's break this Parlay Play slump. And I went ahead and posted this, and this was at 9:23, about a minute after I locked it in. So hopefully you can still play this. If you can't, you can add in some other pick and take Porter Jr. for a lower PRA line if you want. But I like Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren for 24.5 points and rebounds is who I paired him with. Let's pull it up. So Duren going against the Nuggets. This is a very competitive game. I think they're going to need Duren here. They are going to need Duren to play well if they want to beat the Nuggets. They're going against Jokic. It's a tough matchup. His regular line is 27.5. You go at 24.5. He's cashed at 7 of his last 10 games. He's averaging 29. You look at him in the season, he's hit it 68% of the time on the season. Head-to-head, he's been under his last 3 games versus the Nuggets, and he had 1 game this season. Now, let's talk about this because his minutes, 19, 16, 29. So you got to look at the minutes he played. So this season, he's averaging 28 minutes per game. Lots of games where he's not getting big minutes, and he gets low minutes when they blow out teams most of the time. So when they're blowing out a team and he's not dealing with injuries, his minutes, he's getting around 28. So I'm going to put this at 27, a minute less than what I like. I like him to get 28 minutes tonight, if the game stays competitive at least. 27 is a low, is he can easily hit 27 minutes. At 27 minutes, he's cashed this line 86% of the games on the season. 32 PR is what he's averaging. So you can see here, he's been very consistent with his line, getting lots of rebounds, around 11.6 field goal attempts per game. Some of these games he's getting close to 14 or 15. One game he actually had 20. So this is a spot where Jalen Duren can for sure cash us out. His head-to-head, he had 1 game where he played 28-ish minutes, played 30 minutes that game. He had 22. That was a few games ago. But 3 more he would have cashed. I like this line at 24.5 for the payout they give you, and I locked it in. So that's going to be the first slip of the day that I lock in. The second slip of the day that we're going to start with is going to be for our man Lauri Markkanen. I told you the Jazz versus the Pacers. It's a fast-paced game, and it's a game where the Jazz can realistically win this game. They are live dogs, and you can get Lauri Markkanen for 25 points. Now, 25 is a very high, not very high. It's a pretty high line. It's one of those where, like, he's going to have a good game for us to cash. He's not a guy who puts up 25 field goal attempts per game that should cash this easily, like maybe Brunson sometimes will, or Jaylen Brown sometimes will. But Lauri Markkanen over his last 10 games, he's averaging 19 field goal attempts. Some of these games he's getting 25. A lot of these games he's getting mid to high teens in terms of where he's how many shots per game he's taking. Now, the big thing this season, he's averaging 19.5 field goal attempts per game on the season, and they are missing Keontae George. Keontae George is another leading scorer for this team. Without Keontae George, our man Markkanen is going to have to step it up. He's probably going to get plenty of field goal attempts. Head-to-head versus Indiana, he has 1 game this season. He dropped 35 points. He had 19 field goal attempts. So I like Markkanen to have another good game. 25 points is a line that I'm not scared to take for him. I'm willing to put my money there. So give me Lauri Markkanen for 24.5 points for a 1.48x payout. And who I pair him with, I ended up pairing Lauri with our man Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has chalked me, I think, 2 of the last 4 times. He's been about a coin flip player for me in terms of playing this prop. Now, his prop is 24.5 points. This is what I'm playing. He's cashed 8 of his last 10. I'm pretty sure I played in the 2 games he missed. I'm going to be honest with you. But 78% of the games he's cashed on the season. He's averaging 30 points per game. He's putting up 22.4 field goal attempts per game. You look at his last 10 games, putting up 24.4. Lots of volume coming from my man Jaylen Brown. Playing against Dallas. Dallas is going to be a good matchup in terms of how many points they get per game. One of the bottom 10 defenses in terms of points allowed per game. This should be a decent matchup for him. I think this game could stay competitive. Like I said, I think Dallas potentially wins this game. This is not a game where I'm willing to really put a lot of money on the Celtics here. So Dallas being a potential winner here, I do think Jaylen Brown is going to be able to have the attempts in this game to give us 25 points. So 25 points is not a lot for him. Let's lock it in. 24.5 points. It is boosted. This gives us a double up on the dot over on parlay play. So 250 is going to win us $500. I'm locking it in right now. So lock these in if you like them. Fade them if you don't. I'm going to hit refresh here over on Track Picks so you can see these slips are legit. We have Jalen Duren with Michael Porter Jr. We have Lauri Markkanen with Jaylen Brown, both for the same prop. So lock them in. Once again, if you like them, fade them if you don't like to play. Don't just tell them because I post a slip and you're like, oh man, if you hit these slips, I'm joining your VIP or whatever. Like, don't just blindly tell. If you don't know, don't tell. If you look at the props and research them yourself and you're like, man, I actually agree with him, tell them. If you don't want to do it that way and you just want to blindly tell, do it. Just don't get mad if they do miss. I'm trying my hardest to give you guys cashing slips on the free picks. If I play 5 slips and I give you 2 of them and 3 cash and the 2 I give you miss, I can't help it that the 2 that I give miss. I'm not purposely doing that. I did get one comment last week about how I purposely give YouTube losing plays because I want you to join my VIP. Let me give you guys a quick statement here. If I give you losing plays, why would you join my VIP? That was the dumbest comment I've ever seen. My goal is to cash you out. That way you join my VIP. If I can give you free picks that cash, obviously you would want to join the VIP. If I can show you that I'm a winning better, then you'll want to join the VIP. That is my goal, and that is what I'm trying to do. I try to cash you guys out so that you guys want to join, not give you losing picks on purpose. So let's get that completely clear. I've been on a slump on parlay play. I'll admit it. I'm the first one to admit it. I admit it to the Discord every time we lose. But, yeah, parlay play has not been my bread and butter as of lately. It's actually been my worst app for the last month. December was good. January was horrible for parlay play. The start of February has not been good. But I'm feeling a good day today. I'm feeling we're going to break this slump, and I'm feeling we're going to have a great month of February. So lock them in once again if you like them. Fade them if you don't. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys have a great day.